Okay, welcome back to our 12 weeks of Christmas. Today I'm going to show you how to make this double front card. It opens two ways in the front, and I think it's very pretty and elegant. And I always like to use embossing on my Christmas cards. I think it just makes them that much more elegant looking. The stamp set we're using is called the Sounding Joy, and we used every stamp in the set on this card. So let's get started. I started with a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock, which is cut at 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to go ahead and fold that in half. Can you grab me that cutter? Then what we want to do is we want to cut 2¼ inches off the front of our card. So we're going to place that in here, and we're going to cut 2¼ inches off. So we have 2 inches left. Then our next piece of cardstock is the Very Vanilla, and that is cut at 5¼ by 8 inches, and you're going to fold that in half like a card. And that's going to come inside, and you're going to stick that down. That's going to be like your base and your two front covers. So let's get started decorating. The first part, we're going to decorate this panel here. What I did was I took a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock, cut at 4⅛ by 5⅛. And then I ran it through the Big Shot using our impressions folder. So I got this. Now I'm going to attach this to the front. When you have an embossed piece like this, you want to make sure your adhesive goes all the way around, just because it's going to pucker and give a little bit otherwise. So you want to make sure you get good adhesive coverage on that. So there we are there. Now we're going to make this little piece right here on the front. You're going to start with a piece of Very Vanilla that's bigger than what we need, just because we have to cut it down really tight. So just any old scrap of Very Vanilla. You're going to start by using the cherry cobbler ink and the star from the stamp set. Ink that up. And then you want to stamp your star on your, actually went quite close to the top, which is good, less cutting down. Then you're going to come in with Versamark ink and the Joy. But first what I want to do is I want to take my embossing buddy and rub that over the top, just so I don't get silver embossing powder all over where I don't want it. Then you're going to put your Joy on there, which you can't see, but we're going to come in with the embossing powder, which I didn't take up. I'm just going to go like this. And I stamped it upside down. That's what happens when you don't put the label on the back of your clear stamps. But with the magic of our camera here, I already have it done and trimmed out. So when you get it done and embossed, you are going to trim this out to be 2 5/8 by 3 inches. That would be a blooper, but we're just going to leave that right in there. I'm going to attach this, to this cherry cobbler piece, which is cut 2 3/4 by 3⅛ inches. And then I'm going to attach that to another piece of Very Vanilla that is cut 2 7/8 by 3¼ like so. Come back here to my card. That's going to get stuck here on my base. When you attach it to your base, you want to make sure that you only put adhesive on the left-hand side. Otherwise, you're going to stick your whole card shut. So we're going to put that in there like that. Now we're going to build our base in the inside. You're going to take another piece of cherry cobbler, sorry. And you are going to cut this 4 1/8 by 5 1/8 and texturize it. So we're going to stick this on the inside. Actually on the top of this inside piece. And when I cut it, I didn't cut it small enough. I've got my handy dandy cutter here. Cut that down. Should be down to 3 7/8. I want to cut that down to. So 3 7/8. Now it's stuck to my cutter base. Well, I'm batting 1,000 here today. See, we all have wonderful days like this. Oh, it's got tape on it. It's a very tight fit. There we go. So we have that stuck on there like that. We can go ahead and stick this to the inside of our card. We're going to center that in there. Like so. We're getting there. Now on this piece here, we are going to put "Let Earth Receive Her King." You're going to stamp that on this piece here, which is very vanilla at 2 7/8 by 2 1/4. Make sure I got the right one here. And then you're going to attach that to this cherry cobbler, which is 2 3/8 by 3 inches. Lots of measurements. And then finally, we're going to attach it to this piece of very vanilla, 2 1/2 by 3 1/8. And then that's going to be stuck under here. Oops. You want it down front so you don't see it from the front when it's closed. Perfect. Like that. So then it comes your first opening. Now on the inside, I cut another piece of cherry cobbler, and this is 4 by 1 1/2. And then I texturize it, and then I'm just going to take my scalloped edge punch and punch an edge. Like so. We take a piece of our very vanilla 1/8 inch ribbon here, and I'm going to tack the ends down in the back. Just along the top edge here. Like so. And then that's going to get tucked down here on the bottom edge. And then I went ahead and tied a little bow, and I'm going to stick that right here. And then we have our inside green. It's from the same stamp set. See if I can stamp this semi-straight. Not too bad. Now we just got to finish off the front here. You're going to take a piece of our cherry cobbler seam binding ribbon. And we're going to tie that at the top here. Just tie it in a knot. Like so. Take my ribbon only scissors, trim my ends. Then I took one of our vintage brads, and I didn't want to poke through my layers, so I took our craft and rubber scissors and cut off the points, the prongs on the back. Just take a couple glue dots. Put that over your knot. And then you want to take another couple glue dots because it is a little heavy. And we're going to place that underneath there. And that will just hold that in place so it doesn't move. So there you have your double front Christmas card. Thanks for stopping by.